I used to have an extreme fear and anxiety of death or dying. I was kind of in a state of existential dread for years, and recently got over that hump and have accepted that, yeah, I will one day no longer be here. And I just wanted to talk to people about this because what I realized is that I wasn't just a crazy person. When I expressed this one day to a friend, they expressed it back. And then when I realized recently, after having a couple of conversations over the last few months, just because tragedy does happen in people's lives, is that I clearly am not the only person fearing this idea of dying. And whatever their belief system is, atheist, Christian, New Age, like for some reason I just recently had these conversations with people because I was kind of curious, is anyone else having this? And when I realized, well, actually a lot of people have this, especially people who have moved past their 20s. There's something about when you hit your 30s, and maybe for some people it's earlier, like for myself it was much earlier, about this idea of just ceasing to exist. I want to talk about that because I actually want to help people sort of process through this. So first, let me just start with my own story here. I grew up in a very abusive household with a lot of insecurities. And so from a very young age, I was always having this fear of dying really early in my 20s. And I've always had a lot of health anxiety as well. Sometimes I get really bad headaches. Like, I don't know if they're migraines or not, but my eyes hurt a lot. And I get these horrible muscle spasms where sometimes, like, it's really hard to move this part of my face. And I've seen every doctor under the sun, and there's nothing seems like anyone can do. And dude, sometimes it's really scary. You know, sometimes I'm like, man, you know, sometimes I'll get super kind of dizzy and feeling really weak and tired, and my head just hurts so much sometimes. Like right now I have this terrible, terrible headache. And because I had all this insecurities about death, like sometimes it could feel really overwhelming to just go through these symptoms that really have no explanation on why I feel that way. And then with that, being a child who grew up in a really abusive home, having anxiety from that, to growing older and having all these like just health questions, I've just always kind of struggled with this idea of when my death is coming, and always assuming it would probably happen a lot earlier than I wanted it to. And for most of my life, I was an atheist, so that was a really like kind of thought I had to reconcile. And then when I became a Christian, I had to think about, okay, wait, so this faith I've joined says there's an afterlife, that after you die, you can go to heaven. Or after you die, eventually you will be resurrected with a new body. And so with this idea of having a new resurrected body after dying, that there is this thing that happens after, you would think it would bring a lot of comfort, but it really didn't. Because for me, I still had to just go through all this ideas of thinking of what it means to die and possibly not be here, and the sort of uncertainty of it all, because life is extremely uncertain. I mean, if you go on a plane or a boat, which, you know, I like to travel, driving a car is extremely dangerous. You can slip and fall, brain aneurysm, high blood pressure, seizures. I mean, there's so many things. I've seen friends I've known friends who've been murdered, committed suicide, died in car accidents. I've seen friends and family die from cancer. I know how uncertain this world is, and so do most people. And we know death has a 100% success rate. We all have to face that one day we're here and one day we're not, and it's okay to recognize that there may be a fear in that. Now, the reason I really want to talk to this, because like I said, I want to help people. And the things that helped me was, well, one was recognizing, yeah, you are going to die and there's nothing you can do about it. But accepting my death has been actually really helpful in dealing with my death anxiety, because that way I'm just able to enjoy life a lot better since I've done that. Not worried about, you know, oh, I'm not feeling well, could this be something more? You know, not worrying about, hey, if I get sick, you know, that's going to be really hard, but let me try to enjoy the things that God's provided for me, like the home I live in and the daughter, and let me continue just to plan for life as if I'm going to live forever. Smartly, of course. This isn't yellow, like just do whatever you want, but just preparing for things like retirement, because I expect that I probably will live on an average life like most humans, possibly in their 70s or 80s, and to just enjoy the things, because I do want to do things like travel more, get married. So accepting that has been really big for me. The other thing that has been really helpful and fruitful in accepting that I was going to pass on, this life is temporary, has been just sort of like not getting stressed over small things. This whole idea of like looking and being like, okay, I have so much time. Like, do I need to worry about work emails right now? Do I need to worry about little relationship drama stuff? Or, oh, this girl doesn't like me, she didn't respond to my text. Like, these things suck. They're not very great. It's not to avoid trying to get accomplishments or say, oh, I don't care about getting married. It's just accepting that I have a lot of things to do, and instead of being stuck on very small things, is to enjoy the things that I have now and just be hopeful for the future to come. It's helped me was hearing that other people struggled with this as well. It wasn't just me. Like, I literally thought I was crazy. I've always struggled with my mental health until recently. Like, I'm not depressed. I don't have anxiety at the moment or anything like that. I think I hit this mic. Hope that wasn't too loud. But because I don't have that, it's very easy to look back and be like, man, you know, I made it. But hearing people talk about it when I was going through it, that it wasn't just me, was extremely helpful. Now, some people will never have this existential crisis. They will just live life like it doesn't matter. But for me, it's something I had to deal with, and a lot of people do. And so I think by me saying this out loud and you watching this video, you'll be like, oh, I'm not crazy after all. There are other people who are suffering through this. I think when it comes to these things, a lot of us humans are experiencing the same feelings and emotions. And because we don't have a society that is open to talk about things like anxiety, mental health, and death and sickness and all those things that we all face and can be hard. And I know what's going to happen because my channel is a very is marketed towards Christians, to be quite frank. There's going to be someone in the comment who's going to quote a verse telling me that I probably just don't believe in Jesus, who's going to tell me like you shouldn't be worried about death because one day you're going to go to heaven or be resurrected. And as a Christian, I actually agree with all those things. I do believe in that. But like, no matter what your belief system is, it can be sometimes really hard to really see whatever the truth is and then what you're experiencing right now. When you go through a breakup and you feel like you're the most unlovable person ever, like you're like, no one cares about me, no one wants to be with me, this is the third, fifth relationship I'm in, they all fail. Not seeing all the good things about you, that you're very attractive, or you're really good at your job, or you're a very loving person, or you have a really cool hobby. I know that's not a perfect analogy because it's, you know, talking about breakup compared to maybe something like religion and what the meaning of life is are very comparable. But it's just a thing that I think a lot of us can relate to. And so I hope you guys have found this video helpful. It's a little different than what I normally do. I don't know how this will be received, but if you found this helpful, just let me know. If you feel like as someone who is a Christian, then you're like, well, look at what the Bible says, not to be in fear and all these things there, not live in anxiety. I don't know. Tell me why what I'm doing is possibly wrong. The way I see it is that when we are seeing these Bible verses, it's for us to eventually reach there through the process of sanctification. For some of us, it's longer than others, but eventually we will reach it. And guys, you know, if you need someone, I hate doing this. No, I shouldn't hate doing this. Guys, this is a shameless plug. Share and like this video if you found this helpful. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Much love, much peace. I'm just saying things that now, whatever. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord shine his counts upon you and be gracious to you.